Folks, if you listen to this show, you know that I am obsessed with Me Undies. I now have like 5 pairs, and they are my favorite underwear I own. So, right now, as a listener of So Bad It's Good, you can get cozy and spooky for less with deals up to 50% off at meundies.com/sobad and enter promo code SOBAD. That's meundies.com/sobad, promo code SOBAD for up to 50% off. MeUndies, comfort that's made for fall. And get to some fun, because Real Housewives of Potomac, it is fun when you got these ladies getting together to just talk about Karen Huger going to prison. I mean, that is hilarity. I mean, these Giselle knocking Karen in her moment of crisis will never not get old. Now, in the past, I've always said that Karen Huger and Giselle, they need each other. They're like the Batman and the Joker. You know, it's like they need one another to fully be who they are. So in a sense, Giselle is on an island. I would say she is the leader of this group. She is the Kyle Richards of Potomac. And I think she obviously is the head of this show, and she does it well. The only thing you can really knock you can knock Giselle for, sorry, I just had a stroke there. The only thing you can knock Giselle for truly is just her horrible sense of style. I love when they went into her house and it looked like I was like transported back to 1998 at Z Galleria. If you remember that store, it would be in the malls. It looks like everything's like a Z Galleria knockoff shop, and it's just like a weird mix. It's like a high-end Salvation Army store, and her own personal style has always been of question, even though she makes the most sense out of this gang. She has an insane sense of humor, but with Karen gone, they used to go toe-to-toe in such a fantastic way. And also her friend Robin being, not on the show last season. So I think Giselle is finding her footing. We got to see her on Love Hotel. That was fun to watch. And her kids are now away. She is a single lady in her big constructed house / mansion. And so, I think she is the one that is the entrance point in Potomac for a lot of us. It's like we kind of all see this through Giselle's eyes. So this is season 10, episode 1, and this is entitled Second Bloom, obviously an homage to Ashley's second bloom party that she throws for herself. I love Housewives because they always make you throw events. I mean, we never have this many events in our lives, but they have to always throw these events. And Ashley, to celebrate her divorce from Gollum, the ring, precious, my precious. Don't you kind of sometimes miss Michael Darby? Listen, horrible, horrible partner to Ashley, but my God, what a mess. I sometimes miss seeing his messy behavior, even though, it's alleged that he grabbed a bunch of the crew's butts. Remember that? But what a dynamic force on screen. You can always say these women, or like I say, Stacey is a wackadoo. The men of Bravo are the true wackadoos. Let us never lose sight of that. So we have this second bloom party. The episode is entitled Second Bloom. And then the description that Peacock gives us, Giselle brings the group together to process Karen's trial and sentencing. And I hate to laugh about those things because it's a very serious subject. 4 DUIs, 4 driving under the influence. I mean, Karen was lucky that she got off with the amount of time that she did. But I've said this before, she paid her price. I am very excited to see Karen from this point on. And I think when you go through a traumatic experience like this, thank God she never hurt somebody besides herself. And hopefully she has learned the ultimate lesson from this. But I'm glad that Potomac has not turned their back on Karen as referenced in the first scene. And our season 10 cast includes Giselle, Ashley Darby, Dr. Wendy Asefo, Stacey Rush, Kierna Stewart, and we have new additions Tia Glover and Angel Massey, who we have small scenes with, but I'm sure we will get to know further in further episodes. And then we have the loss of Mia Thornton. Mia is gone. Whatever is happening with her and Gordon and her other relationship, we will never know. So Godspeed, Mia. Godspeed. This episode starts off insanely strong because we have barbed wire like a barbed wire fence we see immediately, and the script comes up on screen, September 2nd, 2025, and we see the Montgomery County Detention Center, 10 a.m. And then I was like, whoa, that's the date of Karen's release. And we do know they filmed Karen Huger coming out of prison. And I was like, my God, how smart is that they are showing us the moment. And we see all of the cameras outside. And then we hear Karen's voice and she's like breathing like, we don't see Karen. We just hear Karen. And then we hear Karen go, oh, all right. We hear cameras flashing. People like, Karen, over here, over here. There's a big Expedition SUV. The driver closes the door with Karen inside, even though we still do not have an image with Karen. And Karen says, oh, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. And she goes, do they have tissues in here? Thank you so much. We assume that Karen has gotten the tissues from the driver. We see the seat right next to Karen Huger, but not Karen. I'm like, what happened to her in prison? It'd be crazy if we did see Karen and she's like fucking jacked, like Mike the Situation Sorrentino from Jersey Shore when he went in prison and he dropped all the LBs and got jacked. But then the car just drives off and we just hear Karen exhale. That's it. And it's intense music. It goes dun, dun. And then also the sign says, welcome to Potomac. And then the script pops up on screen 6 months earlier. And it go like the sky turns to like darkness. And 6 months earlier, and we cut to a news report saying a judge today. Sorry, this is ridiculous. A newscaster says, developing today, a judge sentenced Karen Huger to 1 year in jail. Another news reporter says she was found guilty on 7 counts of DUI related to a crash last March. And then the script comes up on screen, March 1st, 2025, 2 days after Karen's sentencing. And remember, they took Karen right into custody. Kern right into custody. We are at Giselle's mini mansion. I mean, it looks like Joe Gorga designed this house. It's all like these little... It's not a cohesive house. We go inside, you all of a sudden see like a purple velvet like stool. And Giselle is prepping for the ladies to come over. She's like, what do I need? Drinks. I got to put some waters out. Maybe a little alcohol. I might need some liquor, she says, which is bad. In anything to do with Karen, let's not have liquor involved. She says in a talking head that she feels so many different emotions. She wishes this was not happening. And then we flash back to last year's reunion where Karen didn't show up and they had a framed photo of Karen Huger, the grand dame, like, you know, the little happy face photo. And Andy's saying Karen's sentencing is in a few weeks. There are speculations she could get a year or 2 in jail. And then remember, Karen had a video message with like a babushka on and she's like, this is very frightening. And she's whimpering. Even the subtitles of this episode says lightly whimpering. You don't want to see our grand dame like this. Giselle in the Talking Head says, do I want Karen in jail? Absolutely not. But do I want to make sure that we don't have a 5th DUI? For sure. Hell yeah. She says, I just want my Karen back. I really do. That's the spirit. This is the kind of fucking feuds I like in Housewives, where they go at each other, but at the same time, they don't want bad for each other. Nowadays on Housewives, you believe that they want to see each other in like 6-foot graves. Like you sometimes believe that there is no goodwill at all. Anyways, Giselle hides the liquor and goes, that'll be for me in case I need liquor. Okay, so the ladies are starting to arrive. We got Ashley Darby coming in. Ashley Darby, I guess, is like kind of like the second in command in this cast. Like one of the longest running, you know, with Giselle. So Giselle says to Ashley, yo, we have had a crazy 72 hours. It is intense. Karen is waking up in jail. And then Ashley Darby goes, in Gen Pop. How many episodes of The Wire have you watched, Ashley Darby? How many episodes of Love After Lockup have you consumed? I love it's like Karen is waking up in jail and Ashley goes, in Gen Pop, general population. Ashley knows the prison lingo. And Giselle goes, is this like with murderers? Is that who she's with? And Ashley's like, I don't know. And Giselle's like, but I mean, I want her to be secure. I want her to be like, if like there's a elderly section, I want her to be there. Oh my God, this could be the whole episode. That could be the final line of the episode. I'd be so happy. Like, I want Karen to be in an elderly section of the prison. Like, Giselle still beating up on Karen in prison is amazing. Like, if they have a section for ugly older ladies, I would like Karen to be in there. I love that. Because, when Karen sees this episode, she'd be like, how dare Giselle? And Ashley goes, yeah, like the AARP of jail. Yeah, that's a great idea. Ashley says, have you talked to anybody else, any of the other girls? Giselle says, I did talk to Kay. She's coming. Wendy and Stacy are coming. And Ashley's kind of surprised about Stacy, but then reveals that she has, we got together with Stacy recently with our kids. And Giselle's like, you and Stacy? And she's like, yeah, I just feel like giving her the opportunity to clear the air. And then we flash back to last year when we were finding out Stacy's story, with Stacy revealing to Ashley, I love someone, but we are not intimate. And then remember TJ, we have a TJ Stacy scene from last year where Stacy's like, how much do you want to sleep with me? And TJ's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, 0. And then another scene where TJ's being asked, are you more dominant or submissive in the bedroom? And TJ goes, just because I ain't sleeping with you now doesn't mean you ever going to be more dominant than I am. Woo! And then at the reunion, Dr. Wendy telling Stacy, you actually paid TJ to be your love interest. And everybody's like, what? And remember TJ talking to the men of Potomac backstage on a FaceTime call. They were like, where are you at? And he's like, I ain't coming. Stacy hasn't paid me. Stacy owes me money right now. Give me my money, Stacy. And Stacy on stage goes, it is a lie. And Andy's like, why would he say it? And Giselle goes, you busted. Legs wide open, Stacy. You busted, honey. Anyways, Giselle in this scene goes, what did she say, Ashley? And Ashley goes, same thing. She was like, Ashley, you think I would really do that? And Giselle goes, what'd you say? Yeah, bitch? And he's like, yeah. And they're laughing about it. Because I think that's the great thing, too, is that we all fib, not maybe to this degree, but also they know in Housewives, this is par for course. Like, this is what happens, is that people make up ridiculous things in their life to get on the show. They try to present a facade of what they think we and the producers want to see. Also, I got to shout out, this is when we hear the old Potomac music of the ding 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 ding. And Dr. Wendy is pulling up. We got the whole gang is here. They do flash back to Giselle when she was showing them their house a couple seasons ago, when Giselle said, some people cannot come in to use the restroom. I can't let everybody use the restroom in here. And Giselle tells Ashley, I don't think Stacy's a bad person. And Ashley's like, yeah, but is she dubious? And Giselle's like, what does dubious mean? And Ashley's like, is she trying to trick us? And Giselle's like, oh, 100%, 100%. Kay and Dr. Wendy come inside, and Dr. Wendy's like, God, Karen, do you love yourself? There's a mirror in every corner. And we also notice there's a lot of pictures, like artwork of Giselle, like very Sheena Shea of Giselle. Like you walk into Giselle's, you're like, this is Giselle. I see her in every corner of the room. Stacy finally pulls up, and she's in the same car that Ashley Darby has. And Giselle's like, God, she's in the same car as you. And then Ashley's like, she's apparently having a custom-made one, And then we hear Stacy belch on the way in. She's like, burp, Brr, excuse me, which is horrible because this, like, most of the episode is talked about how Stacey has the most rank breath. She's got dirty, tart breath, which is amazing. Stacey so far has painted out to be a liar and the dirtiest breath this side of the Mississippi. Amazing. Anyways, inside, Kay's like, she spent TJ's money on the car. That's the problem right there, which I love. I love that they're all laughing about this deep web of lies that Stacey has set herself into. Stacey comes in, all the other ladies are there, and Stacey's like, hey, ladies. This is really the first time that this gang has gotten together since the reunion all at once. So Giselle says, I'm so happy that you guys could find the time to start earning your Potomac checks because I think with what just happened to Kern, I just felt like we needed to be together, she says. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, and Dr. Wendy goes, Karen's in jail. And Giselle's like, right, Karen's in jail. Thank God Giselle doesn't go. Did Ashley tell you about the elderly section I suggested? Wendy says the worst part is the fact that it was so instant. Like, she was taken into custody right away. How does she process that? Like, does she know? Was she prepared? I mean, that's what I'm fascinated to find out from Karen in her first interview is how did she prepare? How did Ray prepare? And Dr. Wendy says, listen, Karen and I may have our differences. And we flash back to the reunion where, remember, Karen in the very nice video message she sent where she looks beautiful, unlike the babushka one. Karen's like, I want to thank those who truly touched my heart during this whole process. And Dr. Wendy was not mentioned in that. And Dr. Wendy at the reunion says, that is not my friend. That is not my 3-wick candle friend. Wendy in this scene says, but as the core of me, that was once my friend. So I want the best for her. And then Kay's like, Karen is in like state jail. Like, this is no Martha Stewart experience. She has to take a shower with people. Like, she is in jail, y'all. I could watch 50 minutes of them just going, she is in jail. Like, I mean, jail to the jail. I mean, that is wild. Because you would have to imagine a certain segment of that prison population knows who Karen Huger is to some degree. Then Stacey goes, I immediately started to think about Raven and how worried she must be. Her daughter. And Giselle's like, yeah, my heart breaks for Raven and Ray. And Stacey goes, when I heard it, I cried so much. Ashley says, it was like this initial gut punch. Like, Giselle says, a part of me, I'm going to be honest, this is the 4th DUI, right? There does have to be accountability. So she knows, like, never to do this again. Do I want to see her in jail? Absolutely not. I still can't. And then everybody's, I still can't believe she's in jail, you know? And they're like, Ashley's like, it's not settling in. The Grand Dame. And then Ashley, under her breath, goes, Thomas Jefferson's concubine. And Dr. Wendy's like, I'm sorry, what? Stacey goes, there are some phrases and names moving forward in our friend group that we will never use. I think Thomas Jefferson's concubine should be one of those that we're allowed to use. That was the unfortunate footage that the police body cam when Karen was shit-canned wasted when they picked her up on this 4th one, where Karen was like, Andy Cohen, like dropping Andy Cohen's name. And she said, I am Thomas Jefferson's concubine. And they play that audio. I am Thomas Jefferson, concubine. Wendy says, yeah, that one threw me. Yeah. And Giselle goes, concubine. Yeah. And then Ashley diverts the conversation and goes, well, what about the initials TJ? Thomas Jefferson, TJ. And Stacey's like, huh? And Ashley's like, well, I'm wondering what's going on with you, Stacey, because the reunion happened. And Stacey goes, and I am sitting here, as I did at the reunion, sitting in my truth. And still I rise, Stacey. I am sitting. If somebody gives you that bullshit line of I am sitting in my truth, you automatically know they're lying to you. Giselle's eyes widen. And Giselle goes, what's that? What truth are you sitting in? And Giselle's like, this is my house. Do not sit on anything but my couch. Folks, if you listen to this show, you know that I am obsessed with Me Undies. I now have like 5 pairs, and they are my favorite underwear I own. So You know when that feeling when the air gets crisp, the leaves start to turn and you're finally wearing those oversized sweaters again? Fall is the vibe. But you know what makes it even better? Knowing you've got MeUndies on underneath. Their micromodal fabric is like a warm hug, lightweight, breathable, and perfect for layering season. Now, get this. This is a real treat. MeUndies has just dropped their Halloween collection, and I am obsessed. I've got my eye on the men's long boxer brief with fly because it's glow in the dark and it has like these spooky ghosts all over them. And I was like, yeah, I will celebrate Halloween with MeUndies on. There's a style for everyone, though. And MeUndies has a cut for every butt with over 20 different styles in 100 different colors and prints. There is unmatched comfort with MeUndies, and it's responsibly sourced. They use sustainably sourced materials and work with partners that care for their workers. They have a problem-free philosophy. Not happy with your first pair of undies? It is on MeUndies. With more than 30 million pairs sold and 90,000 five-star reviews, MeUndies are an essential summer must-have for every drawer. So, right now, as a listener of So Bad It's Good, you can get cozy and spooky for less with deals up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/SoBad and enter promo code SOBAD. That's MeUndies.com/SoBad, promo code SOBAD for up to 50% off. MeUndies, comfort that's made for fall. This show is sponsored by our friends at BetterHelp. Now, when we're looking at therapy, we turn to a lot of places. We turn to our friends. We turn to the group chat. We turn to the local barista. We even sometimes turn to podcasters. Yeah, it's very sad. Even ChatGPT. But we don't need to do this. I mean, they're fun to talk to about everyday topics. But when you're looking for help about relationships, anxiety, depression, or any other clinical issue, they might not have all the right answers, and instead, I really suggest getting guidance from a credentialed therapist online with BetterHelp. Now, BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the U.S. Now, BetterHelp does this initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and your preferences, and their 10-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. But if you are not happy with your match, you can switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recommendations. This is completely online. You can pause your subscription whenever you need to, and you can switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. You don't have to drive anywhere. You can do this in the comfort of your own home. And with over 30,000 therapists, this is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. So find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners, So Bad It's Good listeners, get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/so bad. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/so bad. Folks, I use Mint Mobile, and you should be using it too. So if you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. Guys, it's amazing, it's inexpensive, and it is the best coverage. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited, that's right, unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring along your phone number, along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and those jaw-dropping monthly bills, the overages, the hidden fees. Plans, like I said, start at $15 a month. So, are you ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/SoBad. That's mintmobile.com/SoBad. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. And Stacey goes, well, it's exactly what I said. We go back to the reunion again where Stacey goes, I never paid TJ a dime. I think that's part of TJ's complaint. Andy says, well, why do you think he's doing this, Stacey? And Stacey goes, hurt people hurt people. They really do. Anyways, back in this scene, Stacey goes, paying TJ to be on the show is not true. It was more of an IOU situation. She doesn't say that. And Dr. Wendy goes, have you talked to him since? And Stacey goes, absolutely. And they're like, what did he say? He was remorseful. Yeah. He wanted to come on TV and say, oh my God, I lied. This is awful. Giselle is like holding her head like, oh my God, what? Ashley in a talking head goes, I don't know how TJ wants to issue a retraction for his claim when just on Instagram, he was saying that he's not lying. And a reality blurb headline flashes on the screen. Stacey addresses claims of TJ's receipts as he breaks his silence and teases earth-shattering news. Woo! And then Ashley goes, is the retraction in the room with us? No, because there isn't one. And then Kay's like, it's getting scary. And Ashley's like, why is it scary, Kay? Something awful happened to me. And Dr. Wendy and Ashley go, whoa, what happened? What happened to you? And Ashley goes, with TJ saying that I was paying him was devastating. And you act like I'm some untrustworthy person. Dr. Wendy says, when we were at the reunion, we literally were saying, Stacey, this is what's happening. You're the one that called us liars. And then we flash back to 2 months ago at the reunion where Ashley says, why? I don't believe you. Dr. Wendy says, Stacey, your character will always be in question because you had the opportunity to clear it up and you didn't. And I say that with love. That's another thing. If somebody says, I say this with love, they are usually not saying it with love. Dr. Wendy in this scene goes, friendship goes both ways. And she's a doctor. She knows. My friend will not say her first thought, I don't believe you. Stacey goes, so I'm sorry, but in the moment, as sure as you are of your friendships, that's how I felt about TJ. And I did not believe it. I still can't believe it. Kay goes, okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Was it just a different type of relationship that just went a little bit south over the money at some point? And Stacey goes, no, I loved him enough to step out with him when I wasn't even legally divorced. I wouldn't do that to get on this show. Okay, here's a counterpoint. Yes, you would. Counterpoint, you would. 100% you would. This is what makes a great housewife, in a sense. Like, we like the good housewives, but we also like the housewives that lie through their teeth. You just got to be smarter. You got to be smart about who you believe on these shows. It's a Matrix / The Traitors, right? By the way, we got to get Stacey on The Traitors. We got to see her where she's given permission to act like a villain. Like, you're supposed to trick and lie to people in this show and see how good she does. But Stacey's like, I wouldn't do that for a payday. Yes, you would. Most people that go on these shows would. Kay's like, so they said you, Kay says, they said you had been doing this for quite some time. Is that not true? And Stacey says, Kay, I've been on television for years. Because didn't she work at QVC? And that's where she met TJ, or like the Home Shopping Network? So Stacey says, yeah, it's QVC. And we see her QVC like, listen, if you're looking for a Mother's Day present as a mom, I would love to receive this. Which just shows she does have good thinking on your feet skills. Like those people on QVC, it's like newscasters when they have to cover a car chase and they have to keep it going for like 30 minutes. They're like, you're looking at a Toyota Corolla. Yep. I'd say it's going about 55 miles per hour. Toyotas get great mileage, I think. Oh, they're passing an Acura on the right. Like they just know how to go. Like they know how to make something out of nothing. But Stacey goes, I'm on Potomac because it was the right time. I know it's a sensitive topic with you. And Dr. Wendy's like, whoa. Kay's like, no, it's not actually sensitive for me. No. And Stacey's like, well, I feel like you're being aggressive. That's the other thing is you got to pivot. You got to throw it back on other people. I feel like you're being aggressive, Kay. And Kay goes, well, you're a liar and I'm calling it out. And now I'm aggressive. And Stacey's like, what have I lied about? And Kay goes, you lied on national TV. You looked in the camera. You tried to cry about it. Couldn't even squeeze a tear out of that little beady ass eye. That's the Shakespearean dialogue you get on Potomac. That little beady ass eye. Most of us would say you couldn't even squeeze a tear. They go the extra mile. You couldn't squeeze a tear out of that little beady ass eye. And Giselle gets tickled. She goes, and Stacey's like, what is this? What is this? What is this? In a talking head, Stacey says, to be met with such negativity is shocking to me, especially coming from Kay. I would say she's very vanilla, but all of a sudden, you have a personality when it comes to me. Wow. I do feel bad for these camera people and the talking heads because if Stacey's breath is what we're told it is, it's tough for everybody involved. Kay, by the way, at her talking head, she's wearing this huge gold, it looks like what you put on top of a Christmas tree. It looks beautiful. It's like just a big star-studded headpiece. And Kay and her talking head goes, girl, cut the shit, okay? To me, it gave that this was not a real relationship, and anybody who can lie with a straight face, I'm scared of people like that. That means you can lie on me, honey, and the world is going to believe you because you are just giving it your oh. Stacey in this scene continues her dramatic performance. I was hurt, and I am not the first, nor will I be the last woman to be hurt by a man. All right, let's get the manosphere into it. Yes, we can all agree on one thing, that men will hurt you. And Stacey goes, but I know that everyone here has experienced something like that. And Giselle goes, no, not. And Stacey keeps going, so when I call, oh, you haven't, Giselle? You haven't been humiliated by a man, Giselle? And Giselle goes, Stacey, don't bring us into your shit. Stacey goes, I'm so tired of being hurt. I am hurt. And Giselle goes, this is the first conversation. This is the first conversation we had. Stacey goes, we are going to question me every time we're together now? Yeah, Stacey, that's how you collect your paycheck. Giselle says accountability is what this group is all about. I might argue about that a little bit. I mean, Karen just, I guess, is finally serving accountability in prison. But Giselle goes, you didn't even think about that, Stacey. It's silence. And Stacey goes, maybe I do need to reconsider. And Giselle goes, I mean, we didn't even finish the conversation. And she is up. Stacey is out the door. She is the runaway bride, right? She is out. And when maybe I do need to reconsider. She ain't reconsidering shit. She wants and needs this show. And then Ashley's like, did she leave? Outside, Stacey goes, I can't be friends with these bitches. Giselle tells the other ladies, okay, so Ashley and I didn't want to do this, but now that she's gone, child, while we were in LA at the Essence Black Women Hollywood Luncheon, and a photo pops up at that luncheon, we have Giselle, Ashley, and Miss Cynthia Bailey in the middle. Cynthia Bailey, the hardest working housewife in show business. Giselle says, at our table sat a beautiful actress who is best friends with TJ. Yeah. So she came with the receipts, honey. Receipts. TJ is suing her. I saw the legal document. Wendy grabs Kay, and Kay goes, don't grab me, bitch. Giselle goes, and it said, per our agreement, Stacey paying him 50% of her Real Housewives of Potomac check. And everybody goes, 50%? Giselle says, and he's suing her for the rest of his money, honey. I was trying to screenshot the legal document, but I couldn't get it. And Dr. Wendy's like, oh, this is too much. Kay goes, she sat up on that stage and then sat there and going to say, I can't believe it. Uh-oh, bitch, yes, you can. Giselle goes, what you're not going to do is you're not going to be accountable for your lies. That's what we're not doing. Dr. Wendy goes, this is crazy. Woo! And that is our first commercial break. So, my God, did we start off strong? They exit Giselle and we go into a tree and we see a little bird, which I was like, does that bird represent Karen? Is the Grand Dame in bird form kind of like a Harry Potter kind of character? Anyways, I do want to say, for people that have listened to the show, you know that I did have a very long conversation with TJ right around the reunion or during the reunion time. And very nice gentleman. I spent about an hour on the phone. It wasn't an official interview. And we decided not to do the interview. And I'm not permitted to say, but I will say, I think what these women, I think, in my opinion, as a professional podcaster, yeah, I said it. I think she's lying through her teeth. I think she will eventually, whether it be the end of this season or next season, she will admit it because you have to pivot at some point. I don't think that makes her 100% a bad person, not at all. In fact, I hope she stays on this show. Also, my worry is if these ladies continually gang up on her, we're looking at a Katie Janela situation potentially, even though I think this is more egregious than Katie Janela. Now let's see if Stacey has talked to the bloggers. Kiki Monique, Kiki Monique, Kiki Monique. Let's see if they get her involved some way. But I do believe she was trying to portray a life that wasn't 100% accurate. And you always got to watch those people, because if they do it once, they're going to do it again. And I think a little of this is okay, but you don't want 7 characters that are all lying to each other about aspects of their lives. But I do think it's entertaining for now, because it is so egregious. It is so like, yeah, she's fucking lying. And it doesn't mean you can't like Stacey. There's a lot to like there. Also, it is rumored, Bravo, the account Bravo, oh my God, on Instagram, I just saw their post, that they are saying the actress that Giselle and Ashley bumped into at this luncheon was our friend Shanola Hampton. Shanola Hampton was on the NBC 2-season show. Unfortunately, it didn't get a 3rd season this year, Found. It was her and Mark Paul Gosselaar. In fact, Shanola came on So Bad It's Good last year. And I did my first ever short film in Los Angeles 20 years ago with Shanola. So I know her a little bit. So, but she is allegedly the person, because Shanola was on Watch What Happens Live last year. And in that interview said that she has been best friends with TJ for a long time. So we are suspecting, because Shanola was at this luncheon as well. And I love how this connects with Shanola. That is truly... That's a gift. It's a gift. If we could get Shanola on Real Housewives of Potomac, that would be incredible. Pick up at Dr. Wendy's house, and it says May 1st, 2025, 2 months later. So they picked up cameras just for that scene, and I think, thank God they did. The whole production crew must have been very happy with that scene. That is a great start to this season. But now it's 2 months later, and Dr. Wendy has like a designer in her house going, this is what we are picturing. Boom, new floors. We're going to have a built-in fireplace. Dr. Eddie, Happy Eddie, is making notes. We are going to have a marble from the bottom all the way to the top. All the way to the top. And they have they have 19 feet ceiling. So 19 feet of marble. We're going to get a new kitchen island, she says. Eddie's like, where's this money coming from? And Dr. Wendy says, Happy Eddie is doing very well. Let's use this drug money, okay? Because, yeah, Eddie is in the cannabis, smoke weed every day business. And they're laughing, man. Isn't it funny? Dr. Wendy, a professor that quit her professorial job, I think at the beginning of the last season, and they've been in so many different businesses and all this stuff, and they're finding the most success out of Housewives and the cannabis business. I love it. We go over to Giselle at lunch with her friend, and he's like, you look pretty. And Giselle goes, do I? And he goes, you have your titties out. And she goes, yes, my titties are out. God gave me these titties. God gave me these titties. God wants me to show them. Do you think God is like, show those titties, Giselle. I made those titties. You must show those titties. The friend is like, but God didn't say put tanning lotion on them and sparkles. And then Giselle goes, bad bitch alert. Uh-oh. As Taylor Swift would say, have you boss bitch too close to the sun? I love it, though. Giselle's got those titties out. Okay, we cut from that, and then we go over to Ashley with her friends, and Ashley has a donation pile of things that she's donating, like dresses and all of this stuff. They even find one of like her bridal like get ready outfit that says bride on it. And they're like, we are going to donate this as well. That should be burned. And Ashley sees them and goes, no. And Ashley's like, yeah, I guess we should. No, I would pay $50 for that to put that in my reality show museum. Are you kidding me? Don't burn that. It's probably too late. Okay, so we cut out of that. And now we're at Maharani Palace, which looks like, like a Marrakesh? What is this, Indian? Yeah, I think it's an Indian restaurant. And Ashley comes in and she tells the hostess, I'm meeting someone special. Girl, stop with these canned lines. I'm meeting someone special. Just give your name. Stacey, party of 2, has my party arrived. I'm meeting someone special. And so she's guided to the table and she meets this tall white gentleman. And he's like, hello, you look pretty. You look pretty. And she goes, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you too. I'm starving. And he sits down. Who is this gentleman? Stacey goes, why are you looking at me like that? And he says, because you look beautiful. And she goes, it's just nice to do this again, I think. And we see that this is Tiemo, her ex-husband. Tiemo, Thiemo. I'm bad with names, you guys. Tiemo, it's her ex-husband. Do you realize how earth-shattering this is not? Anyways, Stacey goes, this reminds me of when we were in India. He goes, good memories. Those were good memories, Tiemo. In a talking head, Stacey goes, as crazy as it may sound, I am back with my husband. Stacey, nothing sounds crazy when it comes from your mouth. I am back with my husband. And she smiles. And she goes, do you see this glow? I see no glow at all, folks. So they're ordering their drinks. And she says, I'm really happy. Tiamo and I decided to spend Christmas vacation together as a family for the sake of Arabella, their daughter. They cheers the drinks, right? And they're just staring at each other. And Stacey says, we were notified that we were, in fact, officially divorced while we were on vacation. We just looked at each other. And I think we both knew it wasn't the end of us because TJ hadn't signed his contract for a second season. We had to give each other another try. And now that the divorce is final and we found our way back to each other, we're going with the flow right now, and the flow feels good. Doesn't the flow feels good, you guys? It's a Tuesday. So Tiamo orders for the lady. He's like, we'll get this, we'll get the shrimp, we'll get this. The lady will have the paneer tikka. Yes. I love when people just order. Did we even confer with Stacey on this? Stacey seems surprised at everything he orders. And then she goes, oh, Tiamo, I like you in blue. And he goes, I know. It's just nice to do this again, Tiamo. And I like that we're prioritizing doing it, right? Right? And he goes, absolutely. And then she goes, why did you start sending me evites? And he's like, well, it was the late 80s and evites was the thing to do. Like, who's sending fucking evites anymore? But he goes, calling you and asking you out is kind of strange. So I thought about something different. Do you like it? And she goes, I like it a lot. Who doesn't like getting an evite? It's never scary. Like an evite, or we like evite, and also these people have each other's phone numbers. What about like a Google Calendar invite? But she goes, it's so cute to get like an invitation because it means this time is for us. And he goes, no disruption, no friends, no Bella, screw our daughter. She goes, we just always prioritize Bella, and I think that was just the wrong move. She goes, saying that we didn't necessarily need a date night. We would rather have a family night and not making sure that we had our own personal time. You know, no wonder our relationship deteriorated. We can blame our daughter. And then she goes, we need to write a book. And he goes, I think there's plenty of books out there, and we should have read them. And she goes, oh, Tiamo, you're too much. Indeed. So the food gets delivered. I don't know why we have to see food getting delivered. Some people like it. I'm not. And Stacey goes, getting back together, everyone is going to say we're crazy. Well, everybody's saying you're crazy already, so I think we're okay. And she goes, are you prepared for that? And he goes, I'm prepared for that, but I also know that my real friends will always support whatever decision I'm making. I don't believe he has true friends. She says in a talking head, clearly, Timo is more reserved. I love that his energy balances mine. Yeah, because she has energy. Timo has no energy at all. Like, I would be like, oh, this guy's been dead a couple of years. I'd be like, that checks out. She says, throughout our relationship, Timo treats me like a lady, not like that bastard TJ that wouldn't even touch my boobies. It feels good to be back together, and we have just fallen right back into the step of things. And she gives that 100-watt QVC smile. She says to him, and the plan is to leave Bella happy. And he goes, yes, prioritize Bella, yes. And because we just told her about the divorce, the last thing I want to do is confuse Bella. Oh, yeah, how would this confuse Bella? You just told her you're divorced. Hey, scratch that. You didn't hear that. We said schmamorst. We didn't mean divorced. But she says, I think the plan right now, we stick to it. We don't talk about this with her. Let's keep secrets and lie to her at all costs. And he goes, yeah, so we can't confuse her. You know, I think we got to be sure. We do, you know. And then she's like, she's actress. Stacey goes, I don't know why we keep giving each other googly eyes. I have not seen googly eyes from either of these people. He's wearing glasses. And he goes, googly eyes? She goes, uh-huh. And And he goes, I don't know. Maybe because we didn't for a very long time. And now we can't stop looking at each other. To be fair, they're like right across from each other. They have to look at each other. And she goes, I know how this night is going to go. No, Stacy, I know how this night is going to go. I'm shocked she wasn't going to be like, will you 69 with me later? Timo, please? Ugh! So we're over at Kay's new condo in this next scene, and Kay, like Giselle, has like a full-on framed, huge photograph. It looks like a Victoria's Secret pose with herself in it. Her mom comes over. She also lets us know that her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, Greg, from last season, she says he showed his ass on camera. He did not like filming, which means he's probably a normal person, which never works for these shows. Her mom is like, well, hey, Kay, tell me about Jamaica. You were supposed to have a breakup. And I was like, wait, she just told us that this was her ex-boyfriend. And so Kay lets us know about 3 months after breaking up and moving into her own condo, Greg was like, okay, she's serious. I love that Greg was like, it's been 3 months broken up. Wow, that must not have been a prank. So she goes, yeah, he was like, let me go get my girl back. So he was like, you want to go to Jamaica and talk? And I was like, sure, I want to go to Jamaica and talk. And I'm like, it was a much needed getaway for us to chat and, reset the tone to be together and really say, hey, I love you. I love you. We broke up and sure, I moved into a condo and it's been 3 months, but I love you. And she's like, yeah. It was like, where can we meet in the middle? Which is why it would be great if she was dating TJ now. But Kay, her mom says, where are you right now? And Kay's like, I'm in therapy. And that obviously is helping me understand what I want from my life. And with Greg, I wanted to feel happy and I just didn't feel that. And the mom's like, what are you doing differently this time? And she said, well, we're just dating and the expectation is just to be happy. Okay, sounds like therapy is it's not task-oriented therapy. She says that was a big step for being so like, I want to get married, which was last season. She was talking about she's going to be married this year. The mom goes, personally, I just don't think your relationship is good for you. Tough love. I didn't like who you were in that season of your life. This is a mom talking to her daughter. She says, I raised a strong, beautiful black woman. You are a queen. You put yourself first. The Kay's like, counterpoint. What if I don't do that? And in talking that, she says, nothing is worse than having your family seeing you be hurt in your relationship. Because her and Greg would have bad arguments all the time, right? She says they love Greg. And from them to watch Greg act like an asshole last year, they had to watch that whole season of Potomac. And she says, everybody is like, I don't know about this. The mom in this scene goes, this right here, this is earned, what you have right now. You have to think about your whole happiness, not your HOLE happiness, your WHOLE happiness. But the mom's like, it's not today is great and tomorrow is a maybe. Baby, it's got to be great, great. I love this mom. Hell yeah. So now we're at Dr. Wendy's marble mansion again, and the two sons and the daughter and Dr. Wendy and Eddie are there, and Eddie's trying to get his sons off the phone. He goes, I'm leaving for New Jersey tomorrow. And the daughter's like, for what? And he's like, because Happy Eddie is expanding to New Jersey. So I'm going to walk around the facility and see the kind of different products that Daddy's going to have. I like that he's like the weed version of Tony Montana. Like, he's like Scarface, but with weed. Dr. Wendy says, I'm really proud of Eddie. Happy Eddie is taking off, especially now that it's in 3 different states. And we see pictures of Eddie with all of his weed, his cannabis products. She says, Eddie entering into the cannabis field has allowed both of us to be more selective in the projects we take on because Happy Eddie is, financially successful. And then she goes, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And she goes, I love it, man. I love making money. As long as we don't have to worry if you ever get kicked off this show, you're good financially. That's all I want for all my housewives. And Eddie goes, aren't you guys proud of me, my family? I started with 1 state, and now I'm selling weed in 3 states because I'm growing the business into multiple states. So you can now see your dad as an entrepreneur. When you put your mind to something, you can grow your business. And then Dr. Wendy asks her daughter, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she goes, doctor. And then the son goes, Mom is not a doctor. And they're like, huh? You're not an actual doctor, though. That was always confusing to me as a kid, too, of like, wait, a doctor, but you're not a medical doctor? Wendy says, outside of the monetary benefits from Happy Eddie, Eddie inspires me because it takes a lot to step out and say, I'm going to try this. But come to find out, he is also an inspiration to people within this very group. It would be great if Dr. Wendy announces, and that's why I've decided to get into cocaine. That's right. Happy Wendy's cocaine. But we flash back to the reunion where Stacy is called out again by Giselle going, hey, Stacy, aren't you trying to start your own Happy Eddie? And Stacy goes, nope. And Giselle goes, oh, when she comes out with Happy Stacy next season, don't be surprised. Spacey Stacy. Dr. Wendy says, they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, so color me pink. Now, Stacy lied once again about this because it is known, there have emails been going out that there is a Stacy, I shit you not, a Stacy cannabis line coming. So you can't lie about everything. Like I would buy, listen, I don't buy weed, but if I did, I would buy it from Happy Eddie over Stacy any day of the week. And Happy Eddie, or Dr. Wendy, if you're listening, I would love to sample some of your products at BravoCon. Please have a booth. So now we're with Ashley at like a clothing boutique where she is shopping for her second Bloom Ball, her divorce party. In a talking head, she lets us know after 3 long agonizing years. And we flash back to all the times people were asking when she is finally getting a divorce from Michael. And Andy, even at the reunion, going, the same question I ask you every fucking year. Ashley in this talking head says, Ashley Darby is now officially divorced. And we see Ashley's professional photo shoot with a newspaper covering her naked body saying Ashley Darby is officially divorced. That's the way you announce a divorce, folks. You do it with class and style. Ashley says, we had to go in front of a judge and I wanted returns on investments. And that is something that we worked into my agreement. So Michael's net worth is allegedly $20 million. But Ashley says, your girl is going to be all right. I thought that would be a little sad for me, but baby, I really like it here, she says. She tells the owner, Gilda, of this shop, it's going to be floral themed for my second Bloom Ball, pastels, all that stuff. My friend Stacy's coming too. So she's actually having Stacy in this scene. She says the last time I saw Stacy, it was a bit contentious. That was at Giselle's, the first scene of the episode, right? So she said it would be nice for us to just have some time, just the two of us. So that's great. This is what you want out of Housewives, still being willing to have friendships, even though somebody is just lying about everything. But, Ashley says, I do respect our friendship. She has been there for me in certain ways, and we flash back to those scenes. And Ashley says, now is the time for her to be truthful, because how can I be your friend if I don't know you? And so we see Stacy walking up. Stacy, very beautiful woman. I will say that. All of these women are beautiful. So Stacy comes in, big hug to Ashley. Hey, big hug to Gilda, the store owner. Gilda, all right, good to see you. I love your feathers, Ashley. Ashley's wearing an all denim outfit with a denim skirt with feathers on the bottom. It's great. So Stacy says, I'm so excited. Your invitation was so beautiful. And we flash to 3 days ago when like a horn section, ba-da-dun-dun-dun-dun, you are cordially invited to be present at the second Bloom Ball. And Stacy's like, I accept. Ashley in the talking head says, the second Bloom Ball is in recognition of needing a storyline and an event to have a storyline at. No, she goes, of my next chapter in life. My first bloom was marriage and the kids, and now my second bloom, which is like me being an even badder bitch than when I started. Stacy in a talking head goes, I don't think that divorce should ever be celebrated. But I am not Ashley. And it also didn't take me 10 years to get divorced. So she's in a different place. You're going to regret that talking head, Stacy. I'll tell you right now. So they're making small talk about their children. And Ashley says, listen, I have to talk to you, okay? The last time that we saw each other, it got a little tense, and I understand why you left. I wish you hadn't. And Stacey goes, I felt like I was like being ganged up on. Do you think it was too harsh? I'm just asking you because you just said you understood why I left. Well, the thing is, Stacey, a few days before we met at Giselle's house, I was at the Essence Black Woman in Hollywood luncheon, and there was someone there, and she's an actress, and she's like, I got to talk to you. And Stacey just keeps going, okay. And she proceeds to show me screenshots, Stacey, of like legal documents that say you are the defendant and that TJ is the plaintiff. So I'm like, is he actually trying to sue Stacey? And the music starts building up, dung, 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 which means we're about to hit a commercial. We pick right back up. It says legal documents that say TJ is actually trying to sue Stacey. And Stacey has a shocked reaction to this. The store owner is picking their nose. And Stacey goes, I don't know what to say to that. And Ashley goes, Stacey, okay, this is what I'm saying. So you're still going to maintain to me that you're telling me the truth. You're being truthful to me. And she says, I am telling you, Ashley, that everything that I have told you has been the truth. But I can't talk about someone who brought you. Like, it just starts to get ridiculous. Do you want to know the truth, Ashley? Ashley goes, I do. And Stacey says, I have forgiven TJ. He has gone on with his life, and I am in a completely new space. Ashley's giving her like, what? In a talking head, she says, anybody who is going to hold on to a lie to this degree when everything is put in front of you and there's more validation and proof that you're lying, that's a scary bitch. Stacey says, I am not going to rehash and go back and forth about an imaginary friend and an imaginary document. And she goes, there's nothing imaginary about her. She's very much in the flesh. She's a very accomplished actress. It's Meryl Streep. No. And then she says her name is bleep, bleep, bleep. Shanola Hampton. That's the name. And she goes, are you happy? Her name is bleep, bleep, bleep. Her name is Jeff Timmons from 98 Degrees. No. Stacey goes, Ashley, I can't control anything that anybody says. And she goes, well, this is why everybody thinks you're fake, Stacey. Stacey goes, let me tell you this. And Ashley keeps going, this is why Kay calls you fake. This is why the girls think this. And Ashley goes, okay, so you're just going to lay in wait until it potentially comes out. And Stacey goes, I'm not going to lay in wait. I have been living a beautiful life, and I have moved on. And Ashley says, this is new information now. So in the event that he does come forward, and Stacey goes, I think that it's new information for you, boo. It's not new for me. And Ashley goes, no, girl. She goes, it doesn't matter what anybody says about me. And if you want to keep talking about this, and she goes, I just want you to be honest, Stacey. Are you okay? But what I want to understand, are you actually divorced? And Stacey just pauses and she goes, I am absolutely divorced. Why isn't it anywhere in any of the databases for the state of Virginia? And then Stacey goes, because it's not for anybody's business. And she goes, it's public, Stacey. That's how it happens, girl. And Stacey goes, but I don't do that. And Ashley goes, do you want to see if I'm divorced? Because it's there clear as day. Listen, it's in the Virginia database system, right? Ashley in a talking head goes, if you search me, you will see. It's very public that I am divorced. I couldn't find Stacey to save my soul. Maybe she's going under like a pseudonym or something. Like, I don't know. And Stacey goes, girl, you are a busy mama. We keep getting shots of the store owner just pounding champagne. But Stacey's like, you're out here singing and performing, and you're on the internet looking for me? In a talking head, Stacey goes, why does she have time to Google about me? Because she's got a nice divorce settlement. She got some time. She goes, she needs to be Googling a voice coach, okay? And then we go to Ashley's slammed performances on her tour. An All About the Tea article headline pops up. Ashley Darby admits she didn't do Roberta Flack justice after fans slam her singing and botched performance. Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing live. I loved how they threw that in there really quickly. Stacey goes, she should not be worried about my husband or my marriage. If we are supposed to be friends, I just don't understand why wouldn't she ask me? Stacey says, what about you, Ashley, makes you do that? And Ashley goes, I don't like liars. And Stacey goes, and do you know that I'm a liar? And Ashley's like, it's something that my track record with people. And Stacey goes, do you know that I'm a liar? And Ashley goes, I don't know that you're not. So Stacey goes, okay, great. Once you speak to your imaginary friend, Snuffleupagus, and she goes, he's very real, about her opinion. And Ashley keeps going, very real documents, very real. And then you show me, Stacey says, then we will rekindle our friendship. And Ashley says, okay. And Stacey starts walking out again, the Tamra Judge of Potomac. And Ashley's like, Stacey, oh, you love a walk-off, don't you, Stacey? You love a walk-off. She says, what is this woman actually running from? I should be the one running after she blew that hot-ass breath in my face, but you see me standing here still. Hot-ass breath, Jesus. Hot-ass breath, Jesus. Stacey's got some rank-ass breath. Rank-ass breath, Stacey. Stacey got the bad dragon breath. Had to take a quick break because Rebecca texted me that it is a full moon, so she wanted to sage the entire house. So now this room smells like sage, and it really, oh my God. But she I guess it's supposed to clear out the bad energy, which is like, I'm all bad energy, so hopefully it clears me out. Okay, we are back. Speaking of bad energy, we have a scene with Giselle in her house alone, and she's kind of dancing around her house, you know, showing off those titties that God wants her to show off. And she lets us know her kids have been in college, right? Oh, I miss her daughters. And we have a flashback of her daughters making fun of her snakeskin pants. And they're like, it's like if you took a cobra and you squeezed the skin off. And Giselle goes, it makes my butt look good. And the daughter's like, no, it doesn't. Giselle says, I've been loving me walking around. Titties exposed. She is obsessed with her titties this season. Andy, we flash back to the reunion, say, how's life as an empty nester? And she says, at first I was a bit sad for like 28 hours. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, this is amazing. You know, get some Happy Eddie product and just dance around like no one's watching. So we see her dancing past all these framed photos of herself, just flipping and flopping and going, living the dream, living the dream. A typical day in the life is working out, she says. We see her throw herself on the bed, which is, she probably got that from Robin. And she's like, this is so comfortable, my bed. And working on all the projects that I'm working on. Reasonably Shady, GNA. You know, do I have time for men? Yes, I do, she says. Giselle has been in the streets. Uh-oh, don't let those blogs find out about it. So she goes, let me call my girl Ash. So she FaceTimes Ashley. And they're like, hey, what up, girl? What's going on? And Giselle says, it is time to bloom. We are going to bloom. We're blooming. She just keeps dancing. Stop dancing, Giselle. And she says, it's going to be like a Cinderella ball, Giselle. And Jill goes, oh, I love that. I think I might bring my friend Tia. We need a new cast member since Karen's gone. She's super sweet. We're going to have a fabulous time. And Ashley goes, it's going to be great. We're going to have a great turnout. I sent Stacey a special invitation to come to my Bloom Ball. I don't know if she's going to make it. And she's like, why? What happened? Well, considering how things left at your house last time. So I was like, let's get together, hang out, maybe try on some dresses, right? Yeah, I was like, girl, are you going to stop lying? And Giselle goes, what'd she say? And Ashley goes, Ashley Darby, I never lied. Ashley does a great imitation. TJ and I let that person go. Giselle is cracking up at the imitation. And Ashley goes, Stacey denied all of that. And she said it's an imaginary person and it's imaginary documents. And Giselle goes, but the receipt is the receipt. And the receipt, we saw it. And Stacey's not going to do, what she's not going to do is call us liars. Absolutely not, ma'am. Ashley says, what I'm trying to understand, what else are you about? Are you even divorced? And I said, I had looked through the divorce records for the state of Virginia and your name is not there. And Giselle goes, this bitch ain't even divorced. Ashley goes, girl. Giselle goes, this girl is a liar. So we get out of that scene. And see, Ashley and Giselle are going to carry this season, I have a feeling. So we see the Potomac Lake, the water, a Range Rover pulling up to a house. Kay gets out of the Range Rover, slow-mo walk into the house. And this is where we meet our new housewife. It's somebody that Kay knows. They give a big hug. And her name is Angel. Angel is our new cast member, folks. And we meet her husband, Bobby Massey, a former football player. This dude is a good-looking dude. They're all hugging. We see her son and her grandfather, or her dad there actually as well. And she says, I love me some Angel. Me and Angel have been friends for a very long time, Kay says. Since we were 18. Yeah, almost 20 years, she says. She was also my client. She was also my business partner. She worked at BET. She would hire me. We were hustling together. She was my girl. So super excited. She's back in the P, honey. That stands for Potomac, right? They have 2 kids. So Angel is making matcha. I've never gotten into matcha. I don't even know if I've ever had matcha, even though everybody talks about matcha. Where do I get started with matcha? Anyway, she tells her husband that they're going to go hiking for a bit. The husband says he's just been chilling. That's got to be wild to be like still of a young age and retired from your professional job as a football player. It's wild. So Angel says it's wild to be back in her hometown. She says the biggest misconception that people have about her is that she's going to be a bitch. She says she must give resting bitch face, but actually inside she is a girl's girl. She's a mom, she's an entrepreneur, she's a journalist, she brings the zen, she brings the calm. She's the girl that people come to for advice and happiness. Good luck on your Potomac journey, Angel. She says, I'm a Maryland girl, born and raised. We moved to Colorado when Bobby signed with the Denver Broncos. But now that Bobby is retired, we knew that we wanted to come back to the DMV because all of our family is here. This is our home. This matcha is green as a leprechaun, you guys. Green, green, green. So we got the matcha fix, you guys. That's exciting. And now we got to get on our hike. It's all like steamy in Potomac. It's very humid. I don't do well in those environments. So they go out hiking. I don't think these are hiking clothes that they're in, especially Kay. She's like all done up and like the bugs are all out there, they're saying. And Kay has like a motorized fan with them, which like I'm sure their the sound people hated. So they're walking. Kay goes, how are you and Bobby doing? She says, great. We had the stress of moving, getting the kids acclimated, running the business. What is the business? So we find out their business is Wonderland Outdoors, and they offer luxurious guided outdoor experiences. We see pictures of them on horse ride, hiking, fly fishing. They put their foot, heart, and soul into giving mountain luxury and really just have like a fun kickback. If they don't do this on a cast trip, what are we even doing here? So they're opening new locations in Maryland and the Wonderland Atlantic. They fish, meditate, mindfulness, all that bullshit. Meditation and mindfulness. They play an important role in Angel's life. She says it grounds her in the present moment, and it helps her to heal after her mom passed away. It's a catharsis, and it allows her not to be as reactive as I've been in the past when things don't go my way. Lines like that go, oh God, she's going to be reactive at some point this season. She's saying there's an incredible Hulk inside me. But she says things very rarely don't go my way. Let me preface that. She asks Kay, I need to know, what is the social landscape? I haven't been here. What is going on? What is the tea? And Kay goes, okay, I told you a little bit about Giselle. Horrible style. No, she says, it's so funny. Me and Giselle have built like our relationship. And then there's Ashley. And Angel goes, it's funny. She was my bottle girl at L2 before, which must be a club. And Kay goes, I can see her being a bottle girl. She's got that bottle girl energy. She definitely does. She would sell you a bottle of Ciroc like nobody's business. She says, then we got Wendy, and Angel says, I know her from college. She was roommates with my college big sister. Okay, so we got like a Lisa Barlow, Heather Gay situation potentially. In a talking head, she goes, I don't know Wendy well. She's several years older than me. So by the time she was getting ready to get out the door at Temple, I was just hitting the door, right? But I've always known Wendy to be a completely ambitious go-getter. And I saw her walking down Leah Course Walk with her suits on. And that's so much on brand with who she was, let's be clear. Kay says, we've had this year in general, I feel like it was like all these little microaggressions. And she goes, tell me about him. And Kay goes, well, recently I was in LA at the NAACP Awards. And Dr. Wendy got weird about saying she was actually going, even though I knew she was going. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. So then moving forward, I was recently at an event. And mind you, you could see me coming in. She was already seated. So anyway, I sit down and I'm waiting for her to like turn around. Hey, Jackie O. I love that. Like, hey, oh, Jackie O. That's a great, the dialogue. And Angel goes, well, that's passive aggressive because she saw you. And Kay's like, yeah, I know she saw me. In a talking head, she goes, I haven't taken offense by the way Wendy has treated me. We've had some on and off camera experiences. where she'll get like a little dismissive. And we flash back to scenes last season that, Wendy wouldn't share a bedroom with Kay. And Kay says, to me, that makes your character a little questionable, that you can't be the same person consistently. And I just don't expect that from a friend. Angel says, why can't Wendy be cool? Yeah, don't be all uncool, be cool. And she goes, maybe you should just ask her. And Kay goes, yeah, I'm totally asking her because it threw me all the way off. It just messed up. So we get out of that scene and go to break. Okay, so now we're at the second Bloom Ball. Everybody in the talking heads making fun of like, what's a second Bloom Ball? Why can't we just call it a divorce party? What's going on? Kay and Angel are going over. Kay says she has to speak with Dr. Wendy. Giselle says, I have a friend. Her name is Tia. And then we see Giselle saying, I am a bad bitch. And Tia's like, you are a bad bitch. I met her at the Sotheby's event, Giselle says. She's a high-end realtor. And we see her selling a $6.4 million home. Amazing. She's like, I love this space in a flashback. Tia and I bond over raising twins. Tia is a refined lady. Like, if you're going to cuss somebody out, you at least cuss them out with like a subject-verb conjugation. Tia says, oh, I am prim and proper, darling. We have royal music playing. If I was a Spice Girl, I'd be Posh Spice. I definitely had some Rolls Royces growing up. I'm from London, but my family is part of the royal family in Nigeria. I am a princess. Where is my tiara? Can somebody bring it? No, I'm joking. So they come into the second Bloom Ball. Everybody looks beautiful. There are all these these ladies dressed as like kind of like art pieces, like all like looking like the end of Midsummer. And Giselle's like, what are we doing? Is this Bridgerton? What are we doing? And, everything's dedicated, like all these leaves strung along the staircase. Charisse gets there. Charisse is here again. Charisse is there, says hi to Giselle. Charisse gets to meet Tia. So we're doing the intros here. And Charisse is like, I love the accent. Oh, thank you. And Charisse is like, now I can't do my London accent. And Giselle's like, no, I told her that too. And she goes, no, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Teresa's like, you don't want to hear mine. Don't you do that with every foreigner? You try to imitate their accent and you just look like a doofus. You sound like a doofus and you look like a doofus. So Kay and Angel get there. They're walking in. The hors d'oeuvres look amazing, man. Everybody looks great. This looks nice. It's a daytime second Bloom party, you guys. Tia meets Kay for the first time. And then we're introduced. Angel meets Giselle for the first time. Giselle says she's super happy to meet Kay's friend Angel. And we flash back to Giselle meeting her earlier. And they're laughing, getting along. She loves Kay, so I do appreciate getting to know some of Kay's friends, Giselle says. I need to get to know her better to see what's popping. Yeah, Giselle is heavy wears the crown. She has the crown right now. Charisse meets Angel. Charisse is meeting all the people that'll get more camera time than her this season. So we're seeing these awkward intros. And then Stacy gets out of her car and she goes, the Lord never ceases to amaze me in how he inspires me to be the bigger person. I love the Lord is like, put those titties out, Giselle. And hey, for you, Stacy, be the bigger person. Nothing to do with your tits. Just Giselle's. So she says, even with the way that Ashley treated me, I am choosing to show up for Ashley because I feel like this is an opportunity for us to reset and take a step forward. So Stacy gets in there. Hey, ladies. Hey. Stacy meets Angel and Kay goes, hi, Stacy. And Stacy's like, hi, nice to see you, Kay. Hey. A little attitude is thrown back and forth. AJ is there with Stacy. Stacy's friend AJ. Not TJ, AJ. Loves two-letter friends. Dr. Wendy gets here. Dr. Wendy is wearing just a big old fancy dress. That's how I describe outfits. Big old. So Dr. Wendy about Angel, they went to the same college together in a talking head. She goes, a familiar face. So yay. And the producer goes, do you remember Angel while you were at college? And Dr. Wendy goes, no, I do not know her. No. Familiar face. Yes, sure. But same circle. No. So you know that's going to come into play later in the season. Okay, so more intros between the ladies. You know, Tia's like, lovely to meet you too. This is amazing. Oh, your dress is very pretty, Dr. Wendy. Giselle's getting a tequila drink. Okay, things gotta pop up. And so we get an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second Bloom Ball. Without further ado, please direct your attention to the top of the stairs to witness the blossom of Duchess Darby. And we see at the top of this grand staircase, like at the Titanic, Stacy turns to Dr. Wendy and goes, did he say Duchess? And Angel in a talking head is laughing. This is so funny. From bottle girl to Duchess, I love a good come-up story. And, you know, good for her, she says. And then we see Ashley in this beautiful green dress. There's sparklers going off. Like somebody's going to catch flame right now. Ashley says, is this a fire hazard or no? Say a prayer for me, y'all. She has this big dress that would trip you up. I would trip down the stairs wearing it. This is why I don't wear dresses. And Tia's like, I'm impressed that she can come down the stairs with this. It's really impressive. Dr. Wendy's like, why are you stopping? And Angel, why are you stopping? And Ashley goes, because so you can admire. So you can admire. And everybody's, you know, smiling. Ashley gets the mic. Well, my friends, thank you all so much for celebrating the first and last second Bloom Ball. We'll see you at the third Bloom Ball. She says, my first sprout started when I became a beauty queen and a philanthropist and a restaurateur. I forgot about the restaurant her and Michael had. And she goes, my big bloom, my first bloom as a wife and a mother to my two amazing sons, little Michael Darby's. And as the seasons have changed and I transitioned to the end of my marriage, some questioning whether I was even really getting a divorce, but here I am, fully and ready to embrace my second bloom. So thank you all for coming tonight. All right, everybody, without further ado, please enjoy the rest of the night and let's party! Woo! Oh, boom, boom, boom. Music starts playing. Hey, 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 We're going around, past hors d'oeuvres, champagne being poured, the whole deal, the whole nine, right? Giselle and Dr. Wendy are sitting down, and Giselle's kind of poking fun at Dr. Wendy's dress. And then Kay sits down, and they're talking. And then Kay goes, that's being a little rude, because I'm sitting here, too. And Wendy goes, it wasn't being rude. Giselle and I are having a conversation. I'm not trying to be rude to you. And Kay goes, that was a little rude to act like I wasn't sitting here. And I didn't see it, to be honest. And she goes, I hate that I'm interjecting on a chat. And Giselle goes, no, it's good. And she says, I want to chat with Wendy, Kay says. And then Giselle goes, okay, I'm coming back. I'll come back. I'm going to go, right? And so Kay and Dr. Wendy finally having their talk. She says, I've been wanting to talk to you, Wendy, because I felt extremely taken aback by you. And Wendy kind of has this smile like, where are you going with this? And Kay says, I feel like you have this thing that you do in our friendship that's phony. You do. And they're just staring at each other, which means we go to commercial break. We're back, and Kay says, the energy that you and I have when we talk on the phone is not the energy that you meet me with when I see you outside. It's completely different energy. It's like I chat with you. I say, hey, Wendy, are you going to be at the event? And you say, oh, yes, I'll be there. And I said, oh, okay, I'm going to be sponsoring. And you said, okay, great, see you there. And then I get there, Wendy, and you're actually a speaker there. And Wendy goes, what's wrong with that? And Kay goes, well, if I say I'm sponsoring and you're a speaker, what would be the reason to not share? Wendy says, when you said you were sponsoring the event, it's not like I just said, see you there. I said, yes, come on, sponsor. I hyped you up. I didn't think it was in my moment to say, oh, by the way, I'm speaking. That's just me. I totally understand that on Wendy's perspective. And Kay says, well, here's where I think it looks different. So at the event, no, hey, girl, no, hey. Wendy goes, I'm on the stage. You would want me to, as I'm speaking, to stop what I'm doing and wave? Kay goes, if I see my friend in the crowd, I'm going to wave to her. I'm going to do a friendly nod to her. I am. Wendy in the talking head goes, girl, this is what's getting you upset? I didn't acknowledge you while I'm on stage? The energy I'm usually met with is, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Isn't that what friends do when they see you accomplish something? Instead of turning your accomplishment into their moment? Welcome to the Housewives, Dr. Wendy. Kay says, prime example was that back at the NAACP Awards, we get to the red carpet, and then literally the first thing you say to me is, oh, hey, did you do your own makeup? Woo! You did that, Wendy. Wendy in a talking head laughs and goes, ha, ha, I'm so confused. Kay in a talking head goes, if that wasn't shady, like who says that to their friend? And then we have a shot of her makeup that night, and it goes to black and white and goes dung, dung, dung. Kay says, and you're receiving that? God bless, because I didn't. I didn't receive that. Wendy in a talking head goes, okay. Kay in the scene goes, do you understand where I'm coming from? Wendy says, honestly, I don't. Kay goes, okay. Wendy says, I feel like you're reading into a lot of things, but if that's how you receive it, then I can accept it. I love people. That's how I received it. I hope they receive it well. Kay in a talking head goes, I'm confused if Wendy actually knows how to be a genuine friend. I just think the dismissiveness of it all does not allow me to receive this. I really am the one that is your friend here. I am really needing the clarity, and you are here just acting like, huh. We see Ashley, Darby, and Stacey awkwardly standing around each other, right? Stacey says, congratulations on a wonderful event. You look very nice, Ashley says to Stacey. Very awkward. And then Giselle comes up to Angel, Kay's friend, and Giselle says, so you got to meet Ashley. Great. And now it's the four of them around each other. Angel says, Ashley's as sweet as everybody says. And then Giselle goes, until she's not. And they're all laughing. Ashley goes, just don't lie to me, Angel. Like nothing else really bothers me. Your breath can stink, which, some people. Giselle goes, it happens. Stacey's right next to her. They flash back to the belch at the beginning of the episode. And then Stacey goes, are you saying my breath stinks? And Ashley goes, I didn't say you. And Stacey goes, I'm asking you, does it stink? And then Stacey blows her breath in Ashley's face. And Ashley flutters her eyelids like she's about to pass out. And she goes, does it stink? And Ashley goes, no, stop. Stacey, stop. No. And Giselle goes, oh, baby, there's a lot of bacteria in there. That's a lot of bacteria. And Stacey goes, bacteria? Giselle says in a talking head, I think it's like internal. Like, I think her breath is coming from her lower stomach. You will not come back from that line from Giselle. Her breath is coming from her lower stomach. And then there's a sound effect, like a stomach rumbling. These editors are shady. In a talking head, Angel goes, I don't know what was going on, but her mouth definitely greeted me before she greeted me. Damn, even Angel, the newbie, says Stacey's got bad breath. Stacey says, let's have a moment away from Giselle, Ashley. And Ashley's like, okay. And Stacey goes, because I feel like when you two are together, it's like tag team back again. Giselle goes, that is a lie. Don't start with that bullshit, Stacey. That's a lie. Giselle tells Angel, I'm trying to get to know you better, but we can. And yes, her breath does stink. And Angel goes, yeah, it was a little tart. And then they laugh and high five. Nothing bonds people together like making fun of somebody else's bodily odor. And then Giselle goes, her breath was tart. So they're like, let's go back and check over on Kay and Dr. Wendy. More shots of the party. Ashley and Stacey are talking, and Stacey says, I hope that you can appreciate me showing up today. Even though you accused me of things, Ashley, that I know are not true. I still came here tonight for you. And then Ashley says, okay, something smells fishy with you, which is, I love that's like, we're not talking about her breath, but at the same time, we can interpret it as her breath. But she goes, something smells fishy about you, but still I moved past it. Why are you hiding anything, Stacey? Stacey says, my question is, why do you have to be messy? Ashley goes, you hide behind the word friend. You have been lying to me since day one. Stacey goes, you ask me and you talk to me. I don't even feel as though I can come to you, Ashley says. And she goes, you have been shady to me since day one, Ashley. Ashley goes, I don't feel like we can come to you with authenticity. And Stacey goes, you're so messy. And she goes, you lie, Stacey. Back to Wendy. Wendy tells Kay, I asked you if you did your own makeup. We flash back to Ashley. You lie! Stop lying! Wendy goes, oh my gosh, what is happening over there? And then Ashley goes, get out of here with your size 11 shoes. Gallop away. Oh, it is a show. And then all of a sudden, Stacey's friend goes, hey, you guys, you're being too loud. And then Tia, what is happening, guys? All the cast is now surrounding them. And Ashley's like, you have been lying. I'm sick of it. I've reached my limit. And Stacey goes, messy Ashley Darmy. And Ashley goes, oh, okay, very good. Stacey goes, you are. You are. You are like a little imp, she says about Ashley. You lot, he goes, you lot aren't really hearing each other. Now is not your time. No, get out of this. Ashley says, stop. I'm so tired of the charade, Stacey. And Stacey's friend goes, what do you want? What do you want to see? What do you want to see? Do you just want to see her divorce papers? Is that it? And then Gia's like, if she does that today, can we all have a good time together, Ashley? And Ashley goes, yeah. And Stacey goes, I don't handle divorce like you do, Ashley. And Ashley goes, it doesn't work that way. You are a full-grown woman, Stacey, who came into this group and misrepresented yourself. And Stacey goes, you are a messy devil. And then Ashley's finger's in her face. Get your finger out of my face. Get your finger out of my face. Ashley goes, you misrepresented yourself. You misrepresented yourself. Yourself. Finger fully in face. And then Stacey goes, you are the devil. And then there's pause. Doom. And then we have this season on Real Housewives of Potomac. Oh my God. Amazing first episode. Let me know if you want me to keep recapping this. Hope you had fun today. I sure had fun. Come back on Wednesday for an all new episode. Have the best Tuesday ever, folks. Bye.